We will call to order the regular board meeting for the Board of Election Commissioners for the City of Chicago. Today is Tuesday, January 26, 2016. Good morning. My name is Marisol Hernandez. I'm the chairwoman of the board. Seated to my right is Commissioner William J. Cressy, and to my left is Commissioner Jonathan T. Swain. The next item on the agenda is the consideration of the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or edits to the agenda? Hearing none, we will proceed with the approval of minutes of the board meeting of January 12th, 2016, and that is the organizational, let's see, the first meeting, it's both all in one, the organizational and regular board meetings. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the Executive Director's report. Mr. Goff?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Just to let the board members know that we are going to start printing this week ballots. We will have, we have an employee from our office go out to Lake County Press for quality control. What they do is when the ballots come off the press, they check to make sure they're cut correctly and they run them through a counter to make sure that they're accurate. So we will be sending out an employee. He's out there for approximately 2 weeks while we're doing printing of ballots. So I just want to let you know that we're working on that right now. We do have at our warehouse, we have a 24-hour watch now. We call it a ballot watch. We have a police officer at the warehouse 24 hours a day. It does help that the police store a lot of their gear at our warehouse also in another part of it, so it's always covered 24 hours a day. So I want you to be aware of that. Second item is we're going to meet with the Chicago Department of Transportation. As you can see, there's a lot of construction down here. Randolph Street and Clark Street will be under construction for the next 4 months. With the bus lanes that they put out in front on Washington Street, we used to have our investigators pull up on Washington. They won't be able to anymore. So we're going to meet with the Department of Transportation and with the Chicago Police Department to come up with another location where we can stage everybody. Our investigators will be parked over at Theater Garage, but we need to find a place where we can start staging folks at. So just wanted to tell the board members it's something that we'll be working on. We tried to use the alley. Too many people use the alley, so we won't be able to go down there behind 69 West Washington. So it's something that is a problem that we are going to try to figure out how to get around it. But it is going to be a problem on Election Day. So I wanted the board members to be aware of that. But everything seems to be going very well. Registrations are, with the new registrations coming in, staff in the registration department's keeping up with that. Absentees, applications are coming in. Absentee department's keeping up with that. And on this Friday, by law, we have to get the military and overseas ballots out. Spoke to Jeff Federke this morning. He said he'll be all ready. We have a report that we have to submit to the state, and it's already prepared. We're ready to go with it. So I think overall, we're in very good shape for the shape that we're in. We are about a week behind in actually printing ballots that I wanted to. So I told you at the last board meeting, we have a nonpartisan and Green Party on the presses now. They'll be off by Thursday. Hopefully after that, we'll start printing the Republican ballots and then the Democratic ballots. Today, I'd like to, with the board members' permission, give out punch numbers. I spoke to Al Chase. Will be sending that to you, Mr. Allen, to get it up on the web page, but today is when we want to start handing them out. And basically, that's all I have for the board members at this time.
I don't think we I have a problem with having you issue the punch numbers.
Okay. I don't have an objection on that.
Neither do I.
Yeah. They're unofficial because we do have some judicial reviews, but it's enough to get everything out there right now. That's what we're trying to do.
And I know the candidates would like those as soon as possible.
They're knocking on everybody's door, let's say.
Your call.
But that's where we're at right now.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions?
Just offhand, any chance that we could do any parking on Daily Plaza itself during election day?
I spoke to the Daily Center about that. I may have a better chance using their underground parking and using the driveway going down and bringing around. But parking on Daily Plaza,
Yeah.
no chance.
Okay.
No chance.
I
I'm
didn't
just-
think so, but I thought
I
I'd run it
tried.
by anyhow.
No,
Yeah.
I sat down and met with them, and they said, no, can't do it.
Okay.
There's too many vehicles going in and out. I mean, we'll have a big influx going out, then around 2 hours later, they're coming back. They're worried more of a safety issue than security.
Yep, well, plus I wouldn't want to be responsible for any damage to the plaza.
Exactly.
Kelly?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I agree with what Mr. Goff said, registration, they are keeping up with what they are receiving. Warehouse, we are finishing with the e-poll book, the new tablets acceptance testing, we should be finished this week. We have regular Wednesday afternoon conference calls with ES&S. We'll start discussing our next phase, which is pre-lat, for the e-poll books, which will start right after registration closes in mid-February. Election judges and election coordinators are just moving along with recruiting and assigning. Election coordinator training, I believe we're into the third week of training, third or fourth week of training out at UIC, and that's going very well. Judge of election training will start in the next couple weeks. They're doing train the trainer at the warehouse today, and I believe Commissioner Cressy will attend this afternoon. Okay. And that's about it. Everything's going along.
Okay. Mr. Allen?
Good morning. We've been doing some new advertisement in Red Eye as well as Facebook, and we've started with DNA info for the recruitment of election coordinators. With DNA info, we're going to see how that goes and to see if we can build on that and use that also for vote by mail, early voting, and election day registration. We've run into a wrinkle. Kelly and I have seen this around the state with the early voting schedule. This is something we anticipated with the newer law that created a start of early voting 40 days before election day. And we anticipated it would be a problem in primaries when the filing schedule is so condensed with objections and cases that may go to court. And here we are with presidential candidates, both Republican and Democratic parties, who have objections that are pending still before the State Board of Elections because they did not file until mid-January. So we've actually been asked by several other jurisdictions, what are you going to do? They've already announced that they know they're going to postpone early voting. So Kelly has been getting requests from jurisdictions around the state for the wording that we're going to use for our legal notice. Because technically right now we're supposed to be publishing legal notices for the early voting that would start next week. So we've worked out a small legal notice that basically says the statutory start is February 4. However, we have no ballots available at this time. Anybody who arrives will be handed a vote by mail ballot application. So that's where we stand on that. We're hopeful that we can start up early voting on or about February 17, which would coincide with grace period voting and the close of standard registration.
So the State Board of Elections is in agreement that the jurisdictions can't start when statutorily they were supposed to?
I don't know that, I don't know that the state board has really weighed in on this, but I don't want to speak for Mr. Scanlon, but because he's not here, we have consulted with him, and he's in agreement that there is no way we can proceed right now. We have objections against Martin O'Malley, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Marco Rubio, and Ted Cruz. So those are 2 names on the Republican ballot, 3 names on the Democratic ballot. Those are the 2 biggest ballot demands we're going to get. So we're afraid of disenfranchising voters if we offer early voting now. There is a provision in the law that allows that if you don't have the ballots ready, you can hand out vote-by-mail applications instead. So essentially, that's what we're doing.
So will we have the people at the voting sites? We will have our people at the voting sites handing out vote-by-mail applications, or?
Well, the good news is that we anticipated that we would run into this problem. And we scheduled early voting at the 51 sites to start on February 29th, at the traditional start 15 days before election. So that's a great question. We're only scheduled to open early voting here at 69 West Washington. So we're only adjusting the scheduling at one location.
Okay.
So we will have someone, is this downstairs?
This will be on the 6th floor.
6th floor, okay, and they would be handing out the vote-by-mail applications.
Now, we don't anticipate a big rush of people coming out for early voting. Early voting is always a reflection of how many people have their minds made up. And in a primary, people tend to take longer to make up their minds between different candidates. There's a lot else on the ballot, even if they're devoted to one candidate on the presidential ticket. There's still a lot of other places where they need to study.
Are we notifying the campaigns of this as well, so they don't have their people come out looking for ballots?
No, we've put it on our website. We can definitely notify the campaigns.
Okay. Is there anything else, Mr. Allen?
No, that's the biggest item right now.
Okay. We move on the agenda to old business. I don't think we have anything regarding infrastructure projects right now.
No, Madam Chair.
And we've already discussed electronic poll books status. Anything else on voting equipment?
Not at this time.
Okay. And I don't think there's anything on legislation. And now we can move on to new business. First item under new business is IFB board recommendation for invitation for bid on cartage of election equipment. And we have 4 geographical areas, A, B, C, and D, and this is for the 2016 elections.
Yes.
Is-
Laurel
Laurel?
is going to report on that. And Mr. Hurd is with her, who actually oversees this.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, the invitation for bid was advertised. It did open on Monday, January 4th. We did have several results. We reached out to minorities as well as business enterprise companies for the solicitation when we presented this initial bid. We did have a total response of, unfortunately, only 3 vendors of the 32 that we reached out to. Okay? Based off of the selection, we did the evaluation with a criteria of early voting as well as election day. We estimated how long it would take by the number of hours of working, traveling, usage of equipment to come up with an overall view, and that's what you'll see attached in your documents of all the spreadsheets with all the figures, as well as analysis, a very small analysis of prior pricing with current day. So that, as you can see, there has been an increase of that. We are requesting that the sections of the area be broken out and be awarded to 2 vendors. Geographical area A would be awarded to Pickens King Companies. B would be recommended to go to Pickens King and Companies. C would also go to Pickens King and Companies. And then D would be awarded to Midway. That was based off of our math calculations, okay? There was also a fifth grouping which nobody bid, which will come up later, which is what we're requesting for an emergency contract request consideration with a different vendor. So with that being said, I ask that you take that into consideration. The estimated dollar amount is $300,000 for both elections. Past experience has been, we spend approximately $500,000 per election, so it's $1 million, and the prices are there for current as well as past.
Any thoughts about why no one bid on that last area?
No. I believe what happened, they were so accustomed to the previous, we changed the way the solicitation was originally advertised. That was part of the grouping, and what we tried to do is break it out so that have more competitive bidding and give an opportunity to some of the smaller businesses to bid on that, and unfortunately, they didn't catch on. We did have a pre-bid meeting, and we did address this. So they were all notified, it's just that nobody bid, unfortunately.
Just for clarification, can you describe what this fifth category was? It wasn't a geographic area as such.
No, it wasn't. It's miscellaneous services. It's very comparable to messenger services. So during the course of election, we'll have the need to have a vendor pick up from one of our election vendors to another location, whether it be the warehouse, to a public entity, to one of the nursing homes, those types of things. We may have to run something over to a campaign office, whatever those errands may be, that's what they would consist of, and it would not be any cartage.
Okay, so it was sort of a completely different
Yes.
genre of delivery than the other four.
That is correct. I also have here Clint Hurd, who is the Cartage manager, so if there's anything specifically you'd like to ask about the Cartage itself, you can answer some of these questions.
Mr. Goff, is anything else? Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Is there the motion will be to award Cartage of election equipment services for both the general primary and the general election in 2016 in geographical area A to Pickens Kane in an amount not to exceed $300,000 for the geographical area B. Award the contract to Pickens Kane in the amount not to exceed $300,000. With regards to the geographic area C, award the contract to Pickens Kane in the amount not to exceed $300,000. And with respect to geographical area D, award to Midway Movers in the amount not to exceed $300,000 for total estimated cost of $1,200,000. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved as stated.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved, and the contracts are approved. Next on the agenda is the emergency contract for miscellaneous and special cartage services for the March 2016 primary election. And Laurel, this is what you were referring to
Yes,
with
this is.
regards to the miscellaneous messenger delivery services?
Correct.
And this is just for the primary
Yes.
election
That is
in
correct.
March. Okay. Are there any further questions on this particular award?
And just so I'm clear, the reason we're letting this contract to a moving company as opposed to messenger companies because of the volume that can take place?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And the size of the packages.
Okay.
You need a liftgate truck, and most of your moving companies don't have it. I mean,
Messenger companies
messenger
don't.
service
Okay.
don't.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is heavy garbage.
got it.
Have we used this firm in the
Yes,
past?
we have. They were awarded last year, Regional Area D.
And their service was satisfactory?
Yes, yes. Actually, they have historical years of service with our agency. They're very reliable and dependable. They're very good. They're a small business as well.
Very good.
And one other question. So the amount that you're looking for us to approve is not to exceed 250,000?
Yes.
On the previous, for both elections, the amounts for each geographical area was 300,000. Can you clarify why?
Sure. The reason being is we already have started looking to use them, Hogan, once the contract is awarded, and I already have about $25,000 or $30,000 worth of estimated. So I'm anticipating this may be a little bit more costly because it is a presidential election, and historically they've been more, there's more work.
So this kind of call it not geographic work, but this kind of work that works everywhere.
The entire city.
That work is a bit more expensive than the geographic work generally?
It potentially can be.
Okay. All right.
And it is at the rate of $96 an hour.
Correct.
If there are no further questions, is there a motion to approve the contract for miscellaneous special cartage runs for the primary election to Hogan and Sons Movers at the rate of $96 an hour for straight time, and not to exceed the sum of $250,000 for the term of the contract, which is for 95 days, starting today and expiring on April 30th, 2016.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I may, I apologize. The memos have the date of 2015. It should read
Oh.
the 2016, so I apologize.
No problem.
Just a little
I think
anxious.
we all do that in January.
I'm still putting 1998 in.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Next, under new business is a banking resolution.
Yes, Madam Chairwoman,
Yes?
may I make the resolution, or make the motion?
Well, I was going to find out first if Mr. Goff had a comment.
No, I don't. This is something that is standard. We have new board members, so I have to do the paperwork for Amalgamated Bank.
Okay.
And Commissioner Cressy has the actual resolution in front of him and the paperwork that needs to be signed since he is the secretary.
Perfect.
And as secretary, I'd like to make the following resolution, that the Amalgamated Bank of Chicago as designated depository of this organization be, and including its correspondent bank is hereby requested, authorized, and directed to honor checks, drafts, or other orders for the payment of money drawn in this organization's name, including those payable to the individual order of any person or persons whose names or names appear thereon as signer thereof, when bearing or purporting to bear the facsimile signatures of any three of the following: any two commissioners, and either the executive director or assistant executive director. And the Amalgamated Bank of Chicago shall be entitled to honor and to charge this organization for such checks, drafts, or other orders, regardless of by whom or by what means the actual purported facsimile signature or signatures thereon may have been affixed thereto, if such signature or signatures resemble the facsimile specimens duly certified to or filed with the Amalgamated Bank of Chicago by me, secretary, or other officers of this organization.
Okay, there's been a motion to approve and adopt the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
and the resolution has been adopted and approved unanimously. Next.
Do we need to sign that on the
Yeah,
record?
yeah,
Why
document.
don't we sign this up?
I don't believe there's a legal report today. Mr. Scanlon is in court.
Is in court right now, and I haven't graduated from law school, so, yeah, he'll be.
By the way, if there is anyone here for public comment, there is a form, and I apologize for not stating that earlier, to fill out if you're interested in public comment.
Signing
On the yellow.
the yellows?
The yellow ones. There's one more here.
Do we need to put our date of birth here and our social security numbers?
Yes, we do.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And we'll-
No, there's no need for anything on that one.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
that's good.
just use them all, put them up
That's
there.
fine.
Okay. So, we will move on. With financial reports, we have 3 reports today.
First one, excuse me, Madam Chair, the
Yes.
first one is the City of Chicago financials. This is still 2015 appropriations.
I see. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So there is a balance sheet and voucher listing for the City of Chicago, 2015 appropriation number 15-08, dated January 26, 2016, in the amount of $2,500,354.89. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. The next item is a balance sheet and voucher listing for the County of Cook 2015 also appropriation, number 15-01, dated January 26, 2016, in the amount of $512,361.54. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Lastly, there is a balance sheet and voucher listing for the County of Cook 2016 appropriation, number 16-01, dated January 26, 2016, in the amount of $40,255.76. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. At this time, is there, I don't think I received any papers for public
Received no
comment.
Emails.
Okay. There is no need for an executive session,
No, Madam Chair.
and so I will entertain a motion to adjourn to our next meeting, which is February 9th. February 9th at 9 a.m. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.